Good afternoon and welcome to the Alex Urbina radio show, broadcasting live from Newhall, California, right here in your hometown station, KHTS. I'm sitting next to Ellen Tunick, my favorite co-host.
Thank you.
We're back in the saddle.
We are back in the saddle.
Back from vacations.
Back from vacation, yes.
But life is always upon us, right?
Always. All around us and upon us.
And always upon us. So just in case, you're just joining us, we wanted to talk a little bit about life-changing moments and how to handle those, because both of you and I are going through some stuff that, it's lifing. Life just happens the way it does, and we get to decide how we want to interact with it or be in it. So I'll share mine, and then you can share yours,
Okay.
and we'll just have an open discussion in a forum about it. Yeah, okay, cool.
Let's do it.
So if you're following me on any kind of social media, I've just posted that my 30-year-old son, in his quest to chase his dreams and go after his passions, for the most part, in and out of, different homes and different places of living, because he's chasing whatever he's in love with, which happens to be in the field of music and, just being in there working with different artists. And so it has him out in Miami. He flew out to Miami 2 nights ago.
Wow. Far away.
Yeah, which is the other side of the country, right?
Absolutely.
And so I posted on social media that I had a heavy heart, not because I'm worried about him, because I know, I know he's a beautiful leader, smart head on his shoulder. In fact, there was a running joke that I said, I see him over there because, as you know, there's a hurricane on its way to welcome him to the new state of Florida. That's what I was saying. I'm like, he's probably going to be there leading the locals, because that's just the way he is. So I'm not worried about him, taking care of himself. And I just have a heavy heart because I miss the guy, because I love him so much, right? And so my breakthrough, comes more in the form of learning how to surrender and learning how to let go, because that's really, if you define the word love, it's about letting go, surrendering, being unattached,
acceptance of where they are.
Acceptance. There's trust, right? There's faith in all of that. So that's my next level of parenting as a conscious parent, is being aware of, hey, my heart hurts.
And I don't think you have to go through that quickly.
Well, I'm not really concerned about whether it's quick or not. I'm just letting everyone know I'm in it.
Yeah.
So if I'm talking to you and all of a sudden I get vulnerable or I start crying, I just, just give me a hug.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't even need the encouraging words. I just need you to hug me and just let me create a safe space for me just to cry and feel what I'm feeling. Because as I posted before, that's my little buddy.
Yeah.
He's my little guy that since...
He's not so little.
He's not so little, but I'll always see him like that.
He's your little guy.
Yeah, he's the one that God blessed me with to say, hey, you have him for however much time to take care of him and teach him and love him. And so when he's gone now, it's like, ugh. But the encouraging thing is that with technology, we're on the phone, we're Skyping, and so that's a cool thing about that.
And he's really not gone.
No, it's an illusion that he's gone.
Right.
And this is how I know that, because for the last couple of years, he's lived in downtown LA and always either flying, from this country to that country on tour with different people. Doing his thing. And
you were
so,
fine with that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
Isn't that weird? It wasn't fine with that. It was that maybe psychologically I knew, because his home base is here.
He was always coming.
When he comes home, I go, hey, let's catch up for some lunch. You know what I mean? It was like he was coming back. And even though on his trip there, he said, Dad, I'm not planning on living there forever. I'll be back. It's just happens to be a stint that I'm on right now.
Right.
And then I said to him, yeah, but what if you fall in love with someone? Like, what if you get married to, someone out there?
We're projecting now.
So then I reprojected it to, if you do fall in love with someone, make sure that, she's a college girl from California that's
so
just
she has family here.
I love it.
I remember when my daughter Tracy decided to go away to school, all the way to Davis, not so far away. I literally cried for a year.
Yeah.
When she became a senior, every time I'd walk by her room or fold some laundry, and it took me a year to release it and accept it. And when I finally dropped her off, I think I had grieved for so long. I like kissed her and said, have an amazing year.
Yeah.
It's, you know, in our heads, we feel like we're losing something, but we're really not. We're changing something.
Yeah.
It's just about change.
That's
and
right.
Sometimes change hurts.
Yeah. And I reached out to my aunt, and because she's gone through having several of my cousins through the years, one went to the Marines, one went to college, and so she, as an observer, right, as her nephew, watching with those little eyes, watching her through the last 20 years, going through that, and every time I would see her and give her a hug, and like I watched that, and so she was the one I turned to the other night and called her and said, "All right, Thea, give me some advice."
Right, right.
And as soon as I said that, she started crying, I started crying, and we just had a cry fest. And she gave me the best advice that she could, and it really, to me, it wasn't about the advice. I was just grateful to have someone to cry with.
Someone who says, I get it, I get it, I get it.
That knew what I was going through, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
cool to have people, especially on social media, going, "Hey, been there." It's like they don't even, like, I don't have any words for you, just have been there, or
I think that's
I know what
the
it feels
thing.
like.
There are no words. This is you.
This is just an experience that I get to
just
go
you.
through. The heartbreak reminds me that he's that special to me, right?
Isn't that
It's,
wonderful?
Yeah, like it reminds.
I love you
It reminds
just
me
that
that
much.
I love him so much that I don't want him to go, right?
Right.
And so I know that there are probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of other parents out there that have like, "Hey, Alex, I know exactly what you're going through. I've been there." The thing is that it's my turn, right?
Yeah,
It's
yes.
my turn now to go through that.
Yeah, you get to step up now.
Yeah, just like any other thing that happens in life. Someone has cancer, right? Like I had to go through that for the very first time when my dad got cancer, 12, 15 years ago. And when it was happening, I remember turning to my wife going, this always seemed to be like it was something that happened to someone else.
And
Or
just
someone
it
else's,
walked through my front
or
door.
someone else's mom, or someone else's aunt, but it never hit my front door until now. So we're all going to have a first, a first kind of a tragedy, a first kind of a life-changing moment, that when it comes, hopefully we've prepared ourselves a little bit to be able to get through it in a way that is a little bit more comforting, maybe.
I think you eventually get to that comforting part, but I don't think when life hands you something so unexpected. Now, maybe this was not so unexpected, but when life hands you something so unexpected, you have to work through the layers, I think, before you can reach the comfort part. And for me right now, in my situation, I don't see comfort at all. I'm working through the layers to try and get to acceptance instead of resistance. So my little story, how life changes in a second. One day, we have a very active family. We're going and doing, I travel. My husband plays golf, hangs out with his buddies.
You had a routine.
It was a great routine, and we loved it, and we flourished in it. Literally, one day, he wakes up, he can't breathe. And we end up going to the hospital. Long story short, 10 days later, we get a diagnosis of a disease called myasthenia gravis, which none of us had any idea. He literally could not walk. He could barely talk. I had the kids around me, and it's devastating. It's just devastating. Now, he's gotten better. He's definitely gotten better. He's out of the hospital. He can walk very short distances. But never in a million years do we plan on having your life turned upside down. And so we're all trying to navigate this, the kids and, the grandkids. It's it's kind of heartbreaking for him, you know. He thought he would be better much faster. Apparently, it's going to be a very slow process. So we're constantly adjusting. And what I realized is that every person in the family gets to play a different role. We all wanted to play the same role, which is, you know, we'll take care of him and we'll do this.
Right.
And as we're actually immersed in that, we're finding, oh, that one, she can't do that part, but she can do this. And that one can't do this, but she can definitely do this. We're finding our roles in it, and have had to have some real heart-wrenching discussions with one another. And, you know, I've told them, as long as we stay transparent and honest and loving and kind, we will be able to walk through this. We don't know what it's going to look like. I think maybe that's the hardest part. Sometimes you get, you know, you have something happen, you go to the hospital, you come home, you heal, you start again. We don't have that. We don't know where we start again. We don't know what it looks like.
I think that's where the breakthrough is, and there's an opening there for the breakthrough. It's in the, I don't know where this is going. And that might be the resistance that you might be having, is because I want to know.
You know me.
Well, not just you, but everybody.
Plan it out.
But everyone. I think this is in our hardwire, including myself, is always constantly going, all right, Alex, you can't control this. All right, Alex, you're not going to know what's going to happen. And so maybe it becomes me surrendering the need to know where it's going. Just like my son moving to Miami, which I never told anybody yet, but it's Miami, where a hurricane is on its way to welcome him to the state of Florida next Monday. So it gets to be, I don't know what's going to happen, and I am not supposed to know. And to be honest with you, none of us ever really know. What we do is we create an illusion of what we think and what we want it to look like, and that comforts us.
Sort of.
So, well, if you can create a version in your mind, like a story or a picture of, hey, it's going to get better. Hey, he's going to be fine. Hey, we're going to get out of this, right? And so that becomes your vision of where you would like it to go. But none of us really know what's going to happen in the next moment, ever, unless you're a fortune teller. And I don't know how good fortune tellers are, if they can really see the future. But none of us really know where anything's going. But there still seems to be some need of, I need to know how this is going to play out.
Well, and I think that's where the conflict inside happens, is that you want to keep that positive tone. Tomorrow's going to be a better day, a few more infusions, and, you know, you're going to feel amazing. But in the back of my mind, after reading extensively, obviously, about this disease, we don't know. I'm with the kids. We've talked about we really don't know. So it's hard for me because I just have to respond to every moment instead of a day or a week. It's like, where are we right now? And that's what I'm working on personally, so that I don't lose my mind.
That's the best place to be, is in the moment.
Yeah,
because
it's challenging.
It is a challenge, but this is your practice, is learning how to be in the moment every moment. So last night might have been a bad night. This morning, hey, he seems to be better. You have to learn how to be in the present moment.
Yes.
Because if you're not, what'll happen is you're gonna, during a break, right, while he's sleeping, you're gonna jump on the internet to try to find information, which will take you out of the present moment, because you want to find validation that moving forward he's gonna be okay.
Yeah. Right?
Which takes you out of the present moment. It takes you into this projected future of, I created enough evidence that now, guess what? I have hope.
But the more I read, the more I realize that that's not real.
So stop reading. Stop
I did.
Stop trying to collect enough evidence to prove one way or
the other.
And just learn how to be in the present moment and experience his journey with him and allow you to be in that journey, which way it goes. Because to be honest with you, neither one of you can control it. It's just on its course, and you're going to go with it whichever way. But what I'd hate to have happen is you spent so much time worrying and trying to figure out where it's going that you missed the moments of spending the time with him and being present with him.
It's really hard to be present with him, and I don't say that in a mean way. There's a lot of sleeping, and I'm not good sitting, so I can't just sit and watch him sleep. So I,
So me time then. There's your me time.
Yeah, that means doing laundry, fixing meals, making,
No, that's not me time.
Exactly, that's not me time. So what did I do? I went to Alaska for a week, which
to
was
catch up for all that
me
time that you let go by.
But my oldest daughter came to be with him a couple of days while I was gone and had the most difficult time. And she's the therapist, the psychologist that trained. So when we get back, I'll share with you our conversation, which I found eye-opening and very interesting and helped us bond even more.
Awesome. So when we come back from the break, we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll also get to how to handle life-changing moments. And we'll discuss this not only for you, for me, for everyone, to remind us, right, how we cannot be in control of some of these things that just creep up upon us in our lives. Stay tuned for more of the Alex Urbina radio show right here in your hometown station, KHTS.
Healthcare can be difficult if you're underinsured or have Medi-Cal. Samuel Dixon Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you.
Set sail with the SS Lark in a cruise-themed fundraiser packed with live entertainment, great food, fun, games, and dancing as Lark Ranch celebrates their 60th anniversary. Proceeds benefit Lark's residential and day programs and services. Lark Ranch in picturesque Bouquet Canyon just past Vasquez Canyon Road provides a safe home environment for more than 100 developmentally disabled adults. Tickets are $125. The fun happens on Sunday, September 22nd at 1 p.m. Details at larkfoundation.org. That's L-A-R-C, Lark with a C, Foundation.org.
You can now find your hometown station all over social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, we're on it. Pinterest, YouTube, even Snapchat. KHTS even has apps for your Apple and Android phones. Plus, you can get email and text alerts on our homepage on the website. We're all over the place. You can link up to everything by going to hometownstation.com/social. It's that easy. hometownstation.com/social.
A little bit of North Poland comes to Santa Clarita, the pierogi spot on Golden Valley near Sam's Club. Hearty Polish dumplings stuffed with everything from potatoes and meat to fruit. Plump, puffy pockets of comfort food perfection. Family owned and operated, the pierogi spot also offers Polish sausage, stuffed cabbage rolls, and Polish hunter stew. Not to mention delicious dessert crepes and specialty cakes. Open 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Wednesday through Sunday. Catering and private parties available. For more information, go to pierogispot.com or call 254-4850.
At iLead Agua Dulce, we believe the most important thing a child can learn in school is who they are. Life's real tests are never standardized, which is why we've developed an individual-based curriculum that values exploration, cooperation, and creativity. As our learners grow, so do we. Our tuition-free charter school is currently enrolling grades TK through 7th and adding 8th grade in 2020. Your young learner will be immersed in a unique environment where possibility and self-discovery are at the core of every experience. The Agua Dulce campus features beautiful indoor and outdoor spaces for hands-on inspiration, including a robotics lab, a garden bed, a greenhouse, and a technology-based exploratorium. iLead Agua Dulce is conveniently located on the east side of the Santa Clarita Valley, just off the 14 freeway. Check out our homeschool options too. To schedule a campus tour or learn more about our programs, visit ileadaguadulce.org. We're enrolling now. iLead Schools. Free to think, inspired to lead.
Hometown, your hometown station.
And welcome back to the Alex Urbina Radio Show. I'm your host, Alex Urbina. I'm in studio with Ellen Tunick, and we are talking about how to handle life-changing moments. And if you were listening to the first part of the segment, we're both sharing some of the challenges that life has brought upon us in this present moment, and just candidly, vulnerably, willing, courageously to just share what the process looks like, be willing to look at some things that that we might have to course correct or make changes in or have the courage to jump into. And during the break, obviously the conversation doesn't stop.
Never.
I wish we could still air that stuff, but it doesn't. But you had shared a little bit about the journey of you deciding to take some time out, which you deserve, for me time. And then you left Ron back with his daughter, correct?
Yes, I left him back with his daughter for a couple of days. My daughter, Austin, who's living with me, they were, so I had like babysitters kind of moving in,
family
moving
all
in out, family all circling around.
Yeah.
And my daughter, who was like so up for it and said, yes, don't cancel your trip. You've got to take this. You deserve it. All the kids said that. It didn't actually work out real well for her. So when I came home, she had shared some things with her sister, and her sister said, are you all right with me sharing this with Mom? And she said, absolutely. So she shared, and I said, okay. So I touched base with my daughter, and who is a therapist and has been for a long time. She is having the hardest time, and she said, I felt so trapped while I was there that all I wanted to do was run. And I said, okay, believe me, I understand the feeling. I think we all feel a little bit trapped. I said, I know Dad feels trapped too. I said, so let's move this around a little bit. And when you come to visit, I said, I will always be there when you come, and I will take care of the necessities, and I want you just to enjoy your father. And she cried and said, thank you. So it was my understanding that not everybody can do the same thing in this journey, that everybody has moments and special things that they can do, and that's okay. I think that my biggest challenge is I think I'm operating from fear. The fear of this, oh my gosh, what does my life look like? What does his life look like? What's going to happen to, my family? It's the fear of the unknown when you're immersed in a disease that doesn't have specifics to it, because it's an autoimmune disease. You can get better. It can come back. You can not really get all the, so many what ifs, that I operate from this level of fear. And so that's going to be my work, is I can't be fearful. I just have to continue to stay very rooted in the moment, which is extremely challenging for me.
Yeah, and the fear, when we go back to the fear and operating from fear, fear is that space where we want to control and we want to have it look the way we want it to look, the way we need it to look.
How we planned it.
How it was planned, how it was promised to us, right? We get into all the psychological parts of fear of, I don't know how it's going to look, therefore I have no control over it. Rather than surrendering the control, surrendering how it might or should, or how surrendering all of how it could look in any way, and allowing it to free you up to be in the present moment, choosing who to be in each new moment, whichever direction it ends up going. That's the surrendering of the fear and letting go of the control will help you be in the present moment. And in that present moment is a huge opportunity for you to swim around in love and gratitude and joy and happiness and fun. It was, looking back now at watching, being there with my father as he was struggling through his cancer, there were a lot of times that where I would consciously just have to go outside, remind myself I can't control this, remind myself that it is what it is, it's here upon us, and it's just the journey that I get to be a part of. And so I would walk back in and be in the present moment with him and laugh and joke around and just be there with him and not project my own fears and my own neediness,
my
of having
frustration.
It look a certain way, right? But it took for me and my mindfulness of making sure I didn't project all that into a situation that was just unfolding the way that it's going to unfold.
Yeah, I mean, we've had conversations on the show where I was fearful of retiring, remember? And you said, be happy. Not everybody gets to retire the way you get to retire. So I was able to reframe that. And so what did I do? I reframed that and I figured out what retirement was going to look like. And guess what? It doesn't look like that.
Well, shame on you for reframing it other than I'm retired.
Exactly.
And today is a new moment for me to decide who I want to be in my retirement.
And what I want to do.
But you went home and created a whole 20-game plan, right? And painted this beautiful picture for 20 years.
Yeah, I'm going to travel. We're going to do this.
And life says, no, no plans. No plans other than what's happening right now in this present moment. So let's jump back to how to handle life-changing moments. So I'm going to start with you can't handle them. So even in the title, it's an error. It's an error in thinking that you can actually handle life-changing moments. So I'm going to invite you to learn how to roll with life-changing moments. You're going to have to roll with it. So if you're going to create a model that supports you in your life, it's how do I roll? I get to roll with it. I get to dance. I get to be in the dance with this new moment that life has brought upon me. Let's dance in it. Let's dance with it. And then we'll do a little twirl and then let it go. Each new moment, you get to dance with it, roll with it, and then let it go. And if the next moment it's still there, then you get to learn how to keep rolling with it, keep dancing with it. And so I want to bring up this possibility that we as human beings on this planet live in the illusion that the planet is not changing. Since we were born, the planet has constantly been in constant change.
Yes. Day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour, moment to moment, the world has been changing, including the seasons, right? Think about it. The seasons constantly change every season, and there's only those of us that get stuck in the resistance of, I don't want it to be hot. Yeah. I like the cold. And then you got some people going, I love the cold. I'm in resistance to being hot. And so you got to remember, we get into resistance of change because we've decided I don't like change. Yeah.
And you don't realize you're in a world of constant change. So in order to learn how to roll from moment to moment, event to event, situation to situation, you have to learn how to operate in a world that is constantly changing. Which means that you can't hold on to anything because the world is designed for it to change. Always. And it doesn't stop us as human beings from being in resistance to trying to keep things the way they are, right?
You create that safety net.
Yeah, because it's just in our innate nature to want to hold on to stuff. Like I want to hold on to this current relationship that I've had with my son, which is he's face to face with me, or I can reach out and grab lunch with him whenever I want it. Or we want to hold on to that instead of going, no, It's time now for it to roll into its next stage. So I have to learn how to let it go so that a new birth can begin. A whole brand new relationship can be born, and I get to learn how to step in and reinvent myself
and you
into
get
that
to
new
you
situation.
get to love all that new stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I get, in order to have new possibilities, I got to be willing to let go of holding on to the old things that I don't want to change.
But it's okay, for me, in hearing that, it's so, you have had such a beautiful experience with your son, and that's never going to change. So we don't have to really let it go, do we? Because we can hold on to that because it's beautiful and loving. We can still move forward and now do something else as well.
I hate to break this to you, but it's gone already. Oh. Every beautiful moment that I've had with my son is gone. It's gone.
Okay.
And now I'm living in the illusion that
it'll never be the same.
Even some people are like, but Alex, you always have it in your memory, right? I have it in my memory. So it's just a memory there that I can go back to and go, I remember, and then feel the good feelings. But it's still not in the present moment. It's still just it's still the past, right?
So you can choose to live there or move forward.
Yeah. So, but I'm deciding I'm going to save it in case whenever I want to go back to it to inspire me or to remind me of what's possible, I can go there. But I'm learning how to practice being in the present moment and creating new opportunities. Like, hey, buddy, when's the next time you let's get on a chat. Let's get on a iChat message, or hey, Notre Dame's coming to play USC. How about we fly out? You know what I mean? It's like, right. I want to create new. I want to create something new. I'm excited to get into this new relationship called you're way out there and I'm here, and we got to figure out how to still stay connected and look forward for those moments of reconnecting back together in this new stage.
I think connection is, like, for me, is the key word. Staying connected. You want to stay. It's going to look different.
Yes.
That's okay.
That's right.
It's going to look different, but it doesn't mean it's still not being connected.
Yeah, let's figure out how to not let the change in circumstances, change in location, change. Let's not figure out.
Just because people have moved around
doesn't mean we're going to let that affect our connection towards each other.
Right. Because it comes from here.
Yeah, that's right. Let's figure out how to reinvent ourselves so that we stay connected, either the same or deeper, in our love for each other, in our relationship. It doesn't get in the way of that. It just reminds me of people that have long, the relationships where it's long distance relationships. I know some people that live in the same home and they're not as connected as people that have long-term relationships with each other. Isn't that amazing?
It's a choice.
But isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Like, I can live with someone for 10 years and we can't stand each other.
Passing in the night.
Yeah. And we're disconnected.
Yeah.
But there's somebody that you're in love with for the last 2 years, that one lives in Australia, one lives in California, and you feel deeply connected to them, like they're right in the next room or they're laying next to you.
So I think that also I need to stay connected to Ron. I really don't know exactly how that looks with the scenario, but I have to remember that we are connected. Been connected for 33 years. Mm-hmm. That this is just going to look a little different right now.
I think the connection is going to come from your willingness and your courage to have more deep, meaningful conversations with him, and in those conversations are going to open up a new relationship where you can set up some framework to support him and some agreements. Like, hey, buddy, how about we make this agreement that if I notice you start to enable yourself too much, that I get in there and fight for you to create your next level of growth. And once he says I'm in, and you have that agreement, now you have permission to interact with each other like that.
Right.
And then he remembers that every time you call him on stuff like, hey, you got up again, you know what I mean, or whatever it is, he knows you're on his team because you've had that conversation, you've talked about it deeply.
Well, we've created the plan together of how we're going to navigate this together.
Yeah.
things like this, I mean, and I'm certainly not the only person that's ever had this happen, millions and millions. If you're not careful, and I'm really aware of this, if you're not careful, the fear, the frustration, all of that can really pull you apart. And I'm aware of that, and I don't want that to happen to us. But I'm also very aware that it looms its head right in front of you unless you tackle that and you know that it can happen and you choose not to have that happen.
You want to know how to get rid of fear in this whole scenario?
Yeah.
All right. Take some notes. Never mind. You don't have paper and pen. But if you're listening and you're sitting in front of a paper and pen, write this down. The way you get rid of the fear in this scenario with someone that you love or someone that, that all that fear is coming up and that anxiety is to share that fear with them. So it would sound like more conversations when you go, hey, Ron, can I share something with you? And then you have to be vulnerable and say, I'm really afraid that. And then he gets to go, honey, I'm really afraid that. And if you share the fear with somebody, you actually, in that process, let the fear go. It's when your fears come up and you keep storing them on the shelf. Now, after a week or two or a month or two, you have this shelf that's got
full of
30, 40 pounds of fear on it. That shelf is eventually going to break or snap, or you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so you come out, now all of a sudden you're yelling or you're being cold towards him, and he's going, honey, what's going on? What did I do?
And I'm so full of rage at that point.
Yeah, because of you just kept bottling up all the fear instead of creating this
being
safe space for him to go, hey, can I just share this with you? And as you're sharing it, you're actually learning how to let it go. And then opens up your space now to be open and clear and clean for a new moment to come in.
Yeah.
All right, stay tuned for more of the Alex Urbina Radio Show right here in your hometown station, KHTS.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top-quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org. Marston's Restaurant has been a Pasadena landmark, voted the best breakfast in California by the Food Network magazine. Discover Marston's Santa Clarita location, open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Marston's also has a fantastic catering menu that adds a delicious twist to any event. And they cater picnic dinners for that memorable romantic date. Experience Marston's on Newhall Ranch Road and McBean, or log on to marstonsrestaurant.com.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is your official Santa Clarita Dodger station. You can catch all evening games right here on your hometown station. For all the latest news and updates on your Los Angeles Dodgers, KHTS has you covered. Go to hometownstation.com.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
We all know sometimes people lose their way. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, the Way Out Recovery SCV may have the answers you've been waiting for. The Way Out is the premier intensive outpatient treatment center serving Santa Clarita. Asking for help is the first step. Call The Way Out today, 661-296-4444. That's 296-4444 for a private free assessment. The Way Out is an accredited, affordable outpatient program that accepts most insurance. Call us at 661-296-4444 or check us out online at thewayOutRecoveryscv.com. Quit battling with yourself. Ask The Way Out for help today.
Starting a landscape project? SCV Water is available to help you from start to finish. At their free gardening classes, you'll learn planning, design, and budget, plant selection and care, irrigation and maintenance, sustainable landscape basics, and so much more. Visit yourscvwater.com for a schedule of free gardening classes. That's yourscvwater.com.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
And welcome back to the Alex Urbina Radio Show, broadcasting live from Newhall, California. In the studio with Ellen Tunick today, we're talking about life-changing moments and how when they creep up upon you, how do you handle those? You don't handle them.
You don't handle them.
That's the error, is I need to figure out how to handle this. And you don't need to handle anything, because when life happens, it's just a byproduct of what's manifesting. What you want to start thinking of is, how do I roll with it? And whatever's happening right now, what does it mean to me? What's the meaning I'm giving it? And then decide, who do I want to be in this moment? So, for example, if tragic moments upon you and your family, I want you to stop and go, who do I want to be in this moment? Do I want to be fearful? Do I want to let the fear take over me to where I shut down and close up? Or do I want to be accepting? Do I want to be courageous? Do I want to be there for other people in my family? Do I want to be the light? Do I want to be the example? Do I want to be loving? Do I want to be compassionate in this moment for the people around me? So every moment that comes upon us is an opportunity for us to decide who do I want to be in this moment, called life-changing moment. And then you got to remember that on this planet, we're on a planet that is constantly changing. And if you haven't learned how to constantly roll with every change, it's been happening for your whole life. So if you haven't been aware of it, I don't know where you've been. You must have been hiding under a rock, trying to hold on to your past. You're trying to hold on to your childhood. You're trying to hold on to your money. You're trying to hold on to everything that is designed to not be held on to. Mastery is about learning how to roll with all the changes and eventually getting to a stage of being unattached to any of it.
Well, it's all also, I've been talking to my grandson a lot too, and he talks a lot about energy, that the world and the universe is really nothing but a lot of energy.
That's right. It's all energy.
It's all energy.
Yeah.
So what kind of energy do you want inside you?
Right.
What kind of energy do you want to put out there to family or friends? Kind of energy do I want to express to my husband, so.
And there's only two forms of energy. One's love and one's fear.
Yeah, okay.
And then in between that are all the little increments from getting yourself down the fear side or the love side. And in between there is, on the love side, there's compassion, surrender, peace. And then on the fear side, there's holding on to, there's anger, there's resentment. There's control. So you got to learn
everything.
You got to learn all those distinctions if you're going to learn how to master your life.
Right.
If you want to live in a life that is freed up with joy and peace, you got to understand these distinctions. And that's why we have this show. That's why I do coaching, is to help people understand the distinctions of life, so that once you understand them, you're able to free yourself up to be in each new moment, not from being reactive, not from being unconscious, but being aware of what choices you want to make in those moments.
And being thrown into this situation the way we've been thrown into it, I will own that I've definitely been reactive. And I really don't want to. It's exhausting.
Well, and I'm glad you said that, because I get to be now witness, and all the people that are listening get to be witness to you making that declaration. And that's the courageous part, is when somebody out of their own mouth says, you know what, Alex, I'm tired of blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And from this point forward, and I have a big smile on my face, because in our discussion, I'm able to open up these possibilities for that person to get to that stage where they declare what they're now committed to. So maybe this discussion just helps you get some clarity on what you're tired of, and what you've now, in hindsight, look back and go, I don't want to be living like that no more.
I want to be that person.
Here's my
That's
next
not
declaration.
Me.
Here's your next declaration is who? Who are you declaring to be now moving forward in the scenario that you've been brought upon you?
Well, declaring that I'm actually going to be in the moment.
Okay.
Number one, declaring that I can't put my own ambitions of what I think upon him in his head. That I need to create a journey for both of us, for me, and then for both of us. and for the family. I can switch this around a lot. I've really been pretty stuck in a lot of anger and bitterness. It's time to let it go because it's exhausting and overwhelming.
And based on the insight I gave you, what's the best way to let go of all that anger and bitterness?
By expressing it.
Sharing it with who?
With detail, with Ron, my partner.
Yeah, that's go directly to the source.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to learn how to do a great tee-up.
Right.
Because if you don't do it...
You don't want to just blast them with it.
Yeah, because...
that wouldn't bode well, I tell you right now.
Yeah, because then the listening becomes...
defensive.
He's going to... And hurt and guilty for having...
created this situation.
He's going to think that he brought this upon you when he
didn't.
When he didn't. That's why the tee-up is going to be important, because you're going to kind of explain to him how you want him to listen to you when you're venting. Right. So it's important to say those things like, this isn't your fault. When I share this, I just need you to be an open vacuum. Let it come through you and
empty.
Out. Don't hold on to any of it. It's not personal.
Just let me get rid of it.
I'm not saying it to you. I'm saying it through you. So just be the space. Be my partner.
Be my space.
Be the compassionate ear that gets to hear me and have some compassion for me.
Yeah.
After that, I'm off it, and
I'm over it.
And now we're freed up to be able to be in the present moment, hold your hand through this journey, and we get to experience it together.
Yeah.
Now, can you control whether he takes it personal or not?
I cannot.
No. And he probably might. He might struggle. It might be just a process or a journey to go through. But in order for you to free yourself up, you have to get this out. And if it's not with him, it's with someone else. And that's why a lot of times we have some of our good friends that we go, hey, can we get some coffee?
Right.
Right? Yeah, no, really. It's to vent so that I can flush it out and then go back to my partner or to my son or my daughter and then re-engage.
Yeah.
Or we have either a friend or a coach or a mentor or somebody, we can just flush it out to free us up to go back in.
We can't move forward if we don't flush it out.
If you're holding on to it, you
stay stuck.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
And then you look at your shelf and you'll see all of it. There's that resentment.
It's lined up.
There's the anger of that and the resentment towards my mom when I was a kid, and you got all of that just garbage from the past sitting up on that shelf.
And I've done such a good job of getting rid of those shelves, but I just put up some new ones.
You created
tuck, tuck, tuck.
Yeah, you're Bob the Builder.
Bob the Builder.
Yeah. So handling life-changing moments. Life is constantly changing. It's growing. It's evolving. And shame on me for thinking that my kids were going to stay little and live with me forever, right? Shame on us for thinking that
we were going to stop their life.
Yeah, and it's funny because even on my post yesterday on social media, I said, here I am constantly telling my kids since they were little, chase your dreams, go after what you're passionate about, live courageously, get out on the skinny branches of life and swing for the fence. And here my little guy is now, his next third or fourth or fifth stint of going for it. You would think I would learn by now and have learned how to surrender and go, I don't care where you go on the planet. I'm excited for you, and I get to learn how to let you go and trust and have faith.
And our souls and hearts will always stay connected.
Absolutely, which is a whole nother spiritual level that I get to embark on and get in there and do that. So I'm grateful to just share my journey with people and let people hear it and be a part of it. This is where the juice is at for me.
It was so interesting, the word that you had used in your post that I always love. It's one of my favorite words that is often used is being courageous. And I thought after I read it, I said, we teach or we try and show our kids what being courageous looks like. But now we get to do it. Mm-hmm. This is for you. You have to be really courageous right now in your journey with your son in this new, whatever it looks like.
And what's cool is I get to create an opening for him to inspire me.
Yes.
So before we wrap the show up, I'll share a conversation that I just had with him before I came to the station. So I texted him and said, hey, can you get on a video chat real quick? And he goes, yeah. So then we get on the video chat, and I said, he walks out to his balcony, and he's showing me, like, the water and And he's like, yeah, he's like, this will probably be filled up. I'm like, all right, well, let's not have a conversation about that. But I would love to have a conversation with you. Like, what is your guys' game plan? Because you haven't shared that with us yet. So he goes, well, you know, this is what we're going to do. And I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty good. And then I said, you know, your mom's a little concerned, and she wanted me to let you know that we're here. Whatever you need, just let us know. We'll support you the best we can from California. You know, if you need a flight out, we're ready to make the flight. And he starts laughing. He goes, nah. He goes, I just got here. He goes, I'm not going to wimp out. He goes, I'm not going to let a hurricane send me back to California, which I needed to hear that, because it was like, good for you. Like
he's showed you I'm tough.
He's so courageous. And so now it's a mirror to go, hey, Dad, like, stop projecting your own fear and your own worry and your own. Like,
that's not real.
Let him go out there and, you know, if he needs to stand in the face of a hurricane, go do that, kid. If that's what you need to do to prove to yourself that you have what it takes, right?
I love it.
So what a great way to teach me that, you know, sometimes in my own fear, in my own parenting fears of loving him so much, I just get to just go, hey, thanks for reminding me that you're courageous, and I trust him, and I trust the people he's with, and you know, I trust the community, and they're all smart. They'll figure out how to get themselves to where they can, and look out for each other. And usually when you go through those natural disasters like that, people rise up, right? People support each other and help each other.
Yes.
And then I said to him,
incredibly so.
And I said to him, how's the feel over there? And he goes, really, people aren't really concerned about it. I go,
they're not.
So it's only the people on the West Coast, all of California, right? I get everyone texting me going, hey, how's your son? And it's like, we're all the ones that are worrying over here. Over there right now, they're getting their hair done, and they're out there enjoying the sun, because right around the corner a couple of days later
comes Dorian.
Hey, thanks for joining us every Friday right here on Alex Urbina Radio Show on your hometown station, KHTS.